What's going on, everyone? LA Sports back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing my Week 14 picks between the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. This game, of course, from MetLife Stadium, as the Giants are the home team. And the Giants are 7-point underdogs coming into this game. And I'm going to have the Giants losing this football game, but not Philly covering. I do think the Giants will cover, and I think they lose by 6 points. I think the final score is 30-24. That is my prediction for this game. Philly's, of course, a high-powering offense at 11-1, and the Giants are 7-4-1. And of course, this game is super important. As is any Giants game, especially at this juncture in the season. But we're all looking ahead to next week's Sunday Night Football game. That is the most important, football game of the Giants season, and probably that the Giants have had in the past 6 or so years, maybe even 7 years. It is that important of a football game next week. But boy, the upper hand the Giants would have if they were able to pull off a win here tomorrow. I'm not predicting it, but I do think it's possible. We'll get into how the Giants can do so here in this video. But like I said, hopefully the Giants can still win it. It's still important. It's a divisional game. And it is the Philadelphia Eagles. We, of course, always want to beat the Eagles, and knock them off a bit and, make it difficult for them. No question about that. The over-under line is 45.5. I am going to have the over, of course. I have 54 total points. A lot of people might think that that's high, but Philly's a team that scores a lot of points. And the Giants, as of late, have been, playing a little bit decent offensively. But taking a look at the injury report, Robert Quinn for the Eagles, Dallas Goedert, Derek Barnett, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Sean Bradley, and Marlon Tuipulotu are all out of this football game. Trey Sermon is questionable, but he doesn't really do much when he plays. He was a healthy scratch last week, so who's to say he will even play? Philly's obviously not a very banged-up team at all, whereas the Giants have a lot of injuries. Leonard Williams is doubtful. He probably won't play. We know, of course, Dory Jackson, Shane Lemieux, Ben Bredesen was supposed to come back, but he won't be coming back. Josh Ezeudu. Those guys are all out, and then Saquon Barkley is questionable with a neck injury, and it says he's a true game-time decision. Oftentimes when guys are questionable, Schefter or Rappaport will come out, at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and say, hey, Barkley's expected to play on Sunday, which is later that day. Obviously 2 a.m. is 2 in the morning on Sunday, but this one truly seems like it is going to go right down to the wire. Although Saquon is questionable and it's going to be a game-time decision, I would probably lean that he will play just based off of what we heard from him and Brian Daboll. And based off, the couple clips I saw from practice yesterday, I do feel good about Barkley playing, but it will be a close call. Will be tight. And whether or not he plays, I think that affects the game plan, drastically. I really do. I think, I think if Barkley plays, it's going to be a heavy run game, and if he doesn't play, it will still run the ball a lot. It'll be a probably 50-50 split between Breida and Brightwell, who Brightwell's shown some good glimpses lately of doing some good things, but, there will be a lot more passing if Saquon Barkley is out of this football game, and we'll probably utilize our running backs in the passing game. Matt Breida will probably get a lot of receptions out of the backfield. As him and Gary Brightwell are both good pass catchers. So it'll be interesting to see ultimately what happens, whether Barkley plays or not. And, obviously I'm going along with the score prediction of 30-24 if Barkley does play. If he doesn't play, I'll probably have the Eagles by about 10 to 13 points, more in that range. I think he will make a pretty big difference because, as soon as the Giants start having to throw the ball, a whole bunch of times, it kind of takes them off their game plans, and it moves them off of what they want to do. But in the end, I think this is going to have to be a defensive game, and it sucks that we're not able to get our front four all together again, because they just were so good last week. That's probably the best we've ever seen the Giants pass rush in the past 4 years. They look like a top 2 or 3 pass rush in the league. It's probably a top two or three front four in the NFL, when all 4 guys are healthy. Of course, that is Thibodeaux, Ojulari, Dexter Lawrence, and Leonard Williams. But, I have no doubt in my mind, Leo will play next week for Sunday Night Football. He'll battle through whatever he has to do. And the Giants will have that front four ready to go down the important stretch of the season, for that Washington game and after that. But as much as, this game isn't super important, like I said, compared to the Washington game, it still is so important, to win. It's not a must-win game like next week's game is going to be, but it would still be great to get that win and not go into that Washington game tied. It would be great to go in, up a game on them. That would be great. And to beat Philly is obviously ultimately what the Giants always try to do, and that would be gold. It would be great to do that, so... this is still a big game. We're not going to doubt that. It is still a huge game. It's a big game, and I cannot wait for it as a Giants fan. And the Giants are really going to have to limit and stop that high-powering Eagles offense between A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and the legs of Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. It's going to be tough, but we'll see how the Giants, live up to the task. But, guys, that's all I got in this video. You guys, let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on my predictions for tomorrow's New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles game. Phillies had the Giants number as of late, but the Giants look to take that back and pick up the win at home. We'll see what happens. I got 30-24 Eagles. But like I said, as big as a game next week is, we still got to win this game. It's still a big game for us. It's not a must-win game, though. It is still a big game, no doubt about that. Let's not underestimate this game. It is still a big game that the Giants should win, and we're all going to hope they win, of course, as we always do, no matter what, every week. But you guys let me know all the good stuff down in the comment section, as always. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys on the next video. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and as always, let's go Giants.